We're on the beat with Tony Morrone, and we're speaking to John Payne of the Wide Awake Entertainment Group, which also represent the Death Row Records, who are celebrating their 20th anniversary. So, John, what's in store for us this year?
We're going to have a lot of promotions, a lot of celebrations. It's going to be a lot of retrospects. We're going to try to remind people of what Death Row was in the past, what's happened over the years, and what's going to happen in the future. So there will be 4 releases, 2 compilations of some of the artists that people have always wanted to hear. And it's not the Dre, the Tupac, or the Snoop. It's a lot of the other artists that helped make the records and make Death Row what it was. We're going to have a Dog Pound release. We're going to have a Snoop Greatest Hits with some new songs on it. We're going to have some discographies. We're going to have Death Row Records Rap Rivals game that's coming out where people can challenge each other around the world and have rap competitions, mix their own tracks, and at the end of the year each country will have a winner, and then there will be a world winner, and there will be some contracts handed out. So there's going to be a lot of videos, some documentaries. We're going to try to remind people about Death Row, show them, and just for the entire year.
It being the 20th anniversary of Death Row, should we be expecting any concerts of any sort of special appearances by some of the artists represented by Death Row Records?
Actually, they will be touring. Snoop is touring. I know that Snoop and Dre are playing at Coachella. That's not actually connected to us, but you know, it's still all part of the original Death Row family, so it will support them, and you know, as well. So it's going to be beneficial to them, the 20th anniversary. So it's going to be good all the way around. It's not done to promote their concerts, but it's going on. So it's not a Death Row activity per se. Right. But since they were there, and it's one of the reasons why things were so successful, this will help them, and we'll do it gladly.
It being a new year now, 2012, should we be expecting anything new from Wide Awake Entertainment Group as far as new artists, new ventures?
Well, everything is not up my sleeve. It's going to be right out in the open. From the Wide Awake family, as you know, we purchased Death Row out of bankruptcy, so we're going to be doing a lot of things with Death Row. We have Liberty Studios that we opened the doors on in 2011, and then Mix Magazine named it as one of the top 10 studios.
It is a great looking studio, yes.
In the world. It is an amazing studio, and I thank you for noticing. The Wide Awake family, we've also added a few labels under our umbrella. We have KP Records out of Australia. We have Hoopla out of Tennessee. We have D-Sound Syndicate out of Detroit, which is 4 labels, and they're all around the Wide Awake family. We signed a group out of Australia called A Broken Silence. That's very good, and they'll be released in March. They're more of a rock and hip-hop group that's very good. If you want to find them, you can actually, there's a video on YouTube. The group is A Broken Silence. There's a video called Hope. If you take a look at the video, you'll see why we were very happy to welcome into the Wide Awake family.
Before getting involved with Death Row and Wide Awake, what was one of your best urban experiences?
My life. You know, I'm from Detroit, you know, which is a very urban town. Being around music, being around people everywhere I went, even in other parts of the world, urban exists. So my life has been my best urban experience because I truly enjoy it. The people that are there are more soulful, they're more real, so it's been a continuous urban experience, even now to this day. That's why we went to Australia to find groups. We go other places, everywhere I go, it's great. So my life is one urban experience. So as far as picking one particular time, it wouldn't be fair to all of the other good times and the ones that I know are going to occur in the future anyway.
What would be some words of advice that you would give to some of the artists that you come across lately?
You do have to have a passion about it because it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of energy. Nothing happens overnight. You should know as much as possible as you can about it, but also whatever your chosen field is, don't limit yourself to that. There's other interests that you can tie into it that can make you more versatile. Also, in any business, especially entertainment business, and I said business twice, business is very important. You can sing, but there's contracts involved. You know, so you have to know these things. Otherwise, you may not be allowed to sing. So you're going to make sure that business is always taken care of. If you don't know, get an attorney. Get someone you trust that actually knows business or can contact someone that knows business. So once that's all taken care of, then the fun starts. Then you can make records. You can do whatever it is you choose to do. And just like any other field, you need to know the business of those fields. So that you...
The business side of
Business is very important, and then once that's out of the way, it allows you to pursue whatever your passion, whatever your dream is. So that's very, very important that everyone should always remember. And also, another thing that people must do, it's okay to ask questions. There's no such thing as a dumb question. There's no reason for anybody to be afraid to ask a question. If you don't know, how else will you know? So they should always ask questions, and I've said this numerous times before. If they answer the question and you don't get it, explain it to me a different way, and keep asking till you get it. You know, I don't care if they look like they're getting annoyed, because at the end of the day, you leave with knowledge. You leave better off, and then next week you can actually share that knowledge, but you can also grow. So don't take no, or don't get the entire answer. Make sure. You know, if they're not going to, matter of fact, if the person you're talking to is not going to give you the answer, you're in the wrong place anyway. So if you can't get an answer, you should go somewhere that you can get an answer.
Wow, those are some pretty powerful words, and I hope some artists take note.
Well, I mean it, and I think it's very important. I mean, how else can you learn? I've been around a long time. There's a lot of people that have helped me. There's a lot of people I've watched, and when I didn't know something, if I couldn't find a way to research it myself, you ask. There's a lot of people that are here before you. There's some people that come after you that may know. You know, just because someone's been in the business a long time doesn't necessarily mean they know. And there might be somebody that's new to the business that may have gotten that question answered. So, you know, check with anybody.
What's your take on the new social medias such as Facebook, MySpace, YouTube? Does that help the artists at all, or is it something that is fictitious, doesn't really belong in the industry? What's your take on that? What would you advise some of the artists?
Well, actually, since we didn't have it back then, you know, it's okay. Now you have it. It actually helps people. They can get exposure. They can test the waters. They can do things and kind of like hide out for a minute to make sure it's right. So they can take a video up there, and if people love it, then they can show their face. If people don't love it, then they can stay out of it. But it's also another creative medium, as well as the exposure to the world. So if you do something here, we're sitting in Toronto right now, and you put it out, and someone in India goes, "That was great." You probably never even thought that was going to happen, that they can relate to what you did. Or in another country where it's a completely different language, but they can still feel this or get something out of it. So there's a benefit. That's motivation, that's encouragement. So I see nothing wrong with it. It also allows people to be much more creative economically. So when you're sitting, when someone's sitting in their room and they set up a camera, they do something, they can put it out to the world. That's creative. So I think it's incredibly beneficial. Some people may find it to be a problem because they're not making money from it. But you know what? People are getting pleasure and joy out of it. So
has the social media networks helped you find anything that you might have overlooked if it wasn't there?
Actually, there's people that I've seen that I would have interest in, but me personally, I just get out and I meet people. You know, the group of Broken Silence, I met. As a matter of fact, the singer, one of the singers, Torture, I've met people. I got a lot of friends in Australia, and one of my friends, 40, came to LA to shoot a video with Torture, and we met and we talked, and he went back to LA and we communicated, and he kept sending me material, and I was like, we should do something. He wanted to do something. So, social media is good, but I actually like human contact. I like to be out there and see that and see the live, the real. So also, somebody can do a video, but then you sit down and you talk to them, you can see the person and go, okay, this is real. They can do they can do a lot more. They can do this, and some people may take a lot of time to create something, and it's less real, So I like the person. So I get the full picture.
This company, being based in Toronto here, still has you traveling around the world quite a bit, to Australia, Los Angeles.
Well, the world is actually meant to be enjoyed, and it's I advise anyone, when they can, see as much of the world as possible. It puts things in perspective where you are as well. Sometimes you find people that are like you, or you realize that a lot of times we're sitting here and think, God, I got problems, but you get in these other places, I don't have a problem. And it should make you appreciate more. It should also make you want to kind of share and, spread a little bit more love around this planet. Couldn't hurt.